There we go. Here I am. Sorry, everybody. Technical issues are going on again. For some weird reason, I turned my computer on. It started up lovely, and then all of a sudden, it just shut itself off right as we went live. Um, so I've just turned it on again, and we will see if it lasts. Luckily, I've got my phone here ready to go. I'm going to have to get somebody to look at my computer. Makes it worse. Yesterday, I came out here to record a video, and one of my lights had gone as well. So, yeah, we're not having a great time with technical. How are we all doing? Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you are having a great day. We are back in. It's the 1st of January, of course, and everything seems to be tickety boo. I'm just going to, uh, might be able to quickly, hang on, let me just switch. There we go. Um, hopefully that is okay. I'm going to turn that down so we don't get feedback. Hopefully, well, keep a close eye. If this computer goes, I'll have to switch back onto my phone and run indoors. How are we all doing? First of all, let me try and get this show going. Anybody out there? First of all, Adrian is out there. Hello and Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everyone, he says. Turbo Streamers out there. Happy New Year, Veg Podcasters. Happy New Year to you. Ballycillian, Happy New Year, Adrian and Turbo. Happy New Year to you. Nicola is out there saying, see you all soon. Hello to you. Hope you are feeling better. I saw you weren't very well. Turbo Stream, Ballycillian, Adrian, Nicola, hello. Good evening to you. Philly SPB, Happy New Year, everyone. Good evening to you. Hope you are well. Who else have we got? Kate Spratt, hello. Happy New Year, Veg Army. Happy New Year to you. Oracle, Happy New Year. Hello, Army. Happy New Year, and I hope everyone is keeping well. Also, Happy New Year, Stuart Jackson, and all the other out there. If he's out there, that is. Digwell is out there saying Happy New Year. Good Happy New Year to you. Hargrave Gas, evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Hope you have a good one. Looking to hear some good resolutions I can copy. Indeed, as am I. Skinny Jean Gardner is out there saying Happy New Year. Oh, Happy New Year to you. Idaho is there saying hello, Richard and everyone. Happy New Year. Digwell, Oracle, Kate. Basically, everyone that is out there. And Stuart Jackson out there. Happy New Year to all the Veg Army from Stuart. Happy New Year to you. Chili Kate is saying hello. Good evening to you and Happy New Year. Evening, everyone, from Nicola. Happy New Year, joining you full of a lurgy. Hope you're feeling better. Ian Suggett, good evening. Happy New Year. Hello, Dad. Happy New Year to you. Anne has joined, saying Happy New Year, Veg Army. It's my birthday today. Happy birthday to you, and all the way in Canada. Happy birthday and Happy New Year. Digwell says, that's better. I was getting seasick. So was I. I'm just hoping the computer stays on. I don't know what was going on there. I'll tell you a story in a minute. Stuart Jackson, well done, Richard, for your patience. Trying to do so many things at once here. Margaret Peacock, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you. Once again, Margaret, thank you so much for the quiz that you did last week. It seems to have gone down really, really well. So thank you so much. My phone has just connected, so I'm praying that the computer stays on. Anna Jones, hello everyone, and happy birthday to Anne. What else have we got? Happy New Year from Rebecca, says Rebecca in the Facebook group. I think that is everybody's catched up. But Idaho says, weather has warmed. We've had rain. The ground is still frozen, but the snow is gone. It's nice to see green grass, even if it is frozen grass. Indeed, yes. Weather is warmed up today. I was down on the allotment earlier today, and I enjoyed it. It was nice to get out there and enjoy a bit of sun. Well, not sun. It was still cloudy, but just nice to get outside and make the most of it. So, what we are talking about today is what are your New Year's resolutions? This is 1st of January. Something that we all like to do is grow, start New Year's resolutions, start the new year off with a flying start. So, yeah, we want to know what are your New Year resolutions. So for me, gardening resolutions, that is, of course. For me, something that I am keen to try and do this year is to try and keep detailed journal, or in paper, this is written down in paper, the old-fashioned way, of everything I do on the allotment and on the garden, and include things like weather, etc., etc. We've spoke about this many times. I said I'm very good at using my voice, recording things, using my podcast and the equipment I have available for that. So, but this year I want to keep detailed written accounts. So I'd love to know that. That's what I'm starting off with. I saw before we went live, Arthur had said that his New Year's resolution for this year is to try and grow not to grow too much and waste a load. Basically, grow enough to feed his family, but also grow what his family eats. So that was a good one, I thought, to start this season or start the subject off. Skinny Jean Gardner says, I'm growing for Christmas dinner. Excellent. I think that's going to be a podcast in the making, something that I might do in a couple of weeks' time is talking about growing a Christmas dinner, with it all being fresh in our memories, setting out the times, when to sow the seeds, what we would have. I was thinking about this while cooking our Christmas dinner and looking at all the vegetables that we're using and all the different times that we can grow those. Turbo Stream says, I popped to the allotment this morning. It's still sodden after a lot of rain over the last few weeks. Not much I can do till it dries out. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I went down my allotment earlier today. As I said, it's very, very wet. I couldn't take the van in all the way down to the plot, so I had to walk the last bit. But yeah, I'm with you. Very, very wet. No point trying to dig over the soil, but mulching, covering, doing things that I can do is very much what I'm going to be about. I'm just going to quickly, if I can remember where it is, that's the one. Right, sorry guys, I'm back. The computer literally just died as I was talking there, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm trying to fire it back up, and hope this computer hasn't died. The trouble I had, I got a collection of lights in here, and yesterday I came out here and turned everything on. Normally everything works without any problems, and then for some reason my light, this particular one light, it's usually over here, didn't work, and I don't know why. So I'm hoping this is something pretty easy, and I'm hoping we're going to sort this out. Um, it's annoying. I'm just booting up the computer quickly. So where were we? Yeah. Where were we? I can see the comments on this, so it's not the end of the world. We're talking about that one, weren't we? I popped to the allotment this morning. It's still sodden after a lot of rain over the last few weeks. Not much I can do until it dries out. So I totally with you on that. Ballycillian. Mine has to be. Hang on. Let me. There we go. Mine has to be every inch of my plot growing successional crops of fruit, veg, and fruit. I think it's a good New Year's resolution as well. Trying to grow as much as we possibly can successionally, so we always have these foods coming along. Sorry, let me just turn my thingy down and hope it goes. Otherwise, you'll be hearing yourself again. Yeah, trying to grow as much fruit and veg successionally is quite an important thing. Jenny says, hello everyone, happy new year to you. Digwell says, my biggest overriding resolution is to pay better attention to the weather forecast. I was caught out by 2 heat waves and a mega cold snap in 2022. Absolutely right, that. I'm with you on that, because I'm thinking very much the same sort of thing. Let me just see. There we go. Last time it died when I put up the the banner, so hopefully it's going to stay on. Yeah, the weather has been a big thing throughout 2022. The heat wave, the cold snap, all those sort of things that have been a massive problem. Have I been talking? We've been on mute the whole time. I've just seen. I'm sorry. This is this is becoming a massive problem tonight, isn't it? I'm trying to silence it on here as well. So let me just. There we go. I've silenced that quickly. Hopefully. Sorry. I've got a video. I'm going to quickly play just so I can get myself back into the game. Which one? Let's do this one. Right, well, something I want to do today, and starting, I won't call this a new feature, but a feature we want to add to this live show, is where we are sowing seeds each week. This week I am sowing some onion seeds. I sowed these first on Christmas Day as part of the supporters club, but I've got quite a few seeds left over, so I just want to sow a few more. The variety is called Elisa Craig. As you can see, that's what the onion seeds on the camera focuses look like. I filled up this container with seed sowing compost. We're just going to throw those seeds into there. I'm going to add a few more seeds. I'm sowing these quite thickly actually into this. I'm going to throw a few more, and then we're just going to cover that over very lightly with some more. Shake this over. I like to do it from a height, so we're going to cover that over with a bit of seed sowing compost and just let them grow. Now what we will hope that will happen is that all these will germinate. They will live in this greenhouse for the time being. Once they are all pretty much germinated, we will prick them out and give them a bit more space and let them grow on. Gradually getting them into bigger and bigger pots before we finally get them ready to go down on the allotment in the beds. This should actually do us quite well. We probably won't need any more onions this year. They will continue to grow till the longest day, then after the longest day they will stop to grow and they will start to die back. And then about July, August we should be able to harvest these depending on how well they get on. So there we go, onion seeds we've sown this week. Next week I am going to be sowing some chili seeds. Right, I just needed a minute to give myself a break and get myself back in because technical issues galore going on tonight. Computer seems to be holding it up. keep your fingers crossed that the computer stays. Otherwise, it's going to be a massive problem. I may have to run indoors and use my computer indoors if it continues to be a big problem. So where were we? Right, New Year's resolutions. I've got to go right back. Chili Kate. My gardening resolution is to plant things up at the right time. After taking the plot on in April last year, we were constantly trying to play catch up. So I think that's actually a very good point. I'm very bad at sowing a lot of my seeds way too early. And they're still successful, don't get me wrong, but I sow them early because come sort of May, June, July, I tend to get much busier at work. So I wanted to try and get things done so May, June, July is a little bit easier for me. May, June, July is obviously a very busy time in the garden. So I tend to do things a little bit early so that I am a little bit prepared. But April, May, they're good times really to start on an allotment if you have got a good start on the plot anyway. What else have we got? Digwell, put it back on mute. It was better. LOL. Sorry. Hopefully you're hearing me now, but I had to put the sound back on. I don't have lip reading classes very well. What else have we got? Stuart, yes, I did know a young man had senior moments. I had massive senior moments as well. Toby Stream, I sowed my onion seeds too on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. Well, actually, he says bunion seeds. Well, I think that, that's the traditional day to sow these seeds. Christmas Day and Boxing Day, especially for show exhibitions. So I've sown some on Christmas Day as well. They're growing nicely, but I wanted a few more, and I've got so many seeds. I mean, literally so many seeds. I'm trying to get rid of them at the moment. So I figured let's just sow them and be done with them. That way, we're hopefully going to be sorted. Something actually is probably in my resolution is to try and use up as many seeds as I possibly can. In fact, I'm going to add that. I'm going to write that down as one of my New Year's resolutions. Use up as many seeds as I can. That's going down on my New Year's resolution too. Adrian says, my resolution for the year is hope my little toe gets better very soon. I've been rubbing it on my boot, blistered, and it burst. It hurts a lot, and I can hardly walk. Nurses keep redressing it, but it won't heal. Oh, I hope it gets better soon. There's nothing worse than a painful toe, is there? It's amazing how much when you're using your toe, how much it hurts. Graham Arnold says, I'm trying to only use homemade compost this year. That's a good one. You must have some massive compost bins, or you do a lot of composting in order to achieve that, though. But I think that is a very, very good resolution, especially this year. I've got this thing going at the moment where we're trying to beat the cost of living crisis. So I'm very much thinking about the cost of things and whether we can actually afford to do it, or if there's a cheaper way to do it. And using homemade compost is probably one of those that's right up there on what we could do. It takes time, of course. It does take time to produce compost, and then produce a lot of it. It's worth doing. Oracle says, when Amanda isn't there, it all goes wrong. It really is going wrong today. Turbo Stream, when you sowed the onion seeds, did you not firm the soil first? Does it make a difference? So what I tend to do, that's going to be a good test, actually, good experiment that we could try with different seeds to see if firming it makes a difference. But what I usually do is when I take and you saw me do it at the beginning. When I fill up one of my containers, these are dirty containers, need a bit of wash. When I fill my containers up with a bit of seed compost, what I usually do is just drop it on the ground a few times from sort of 6 inches, and just the weight of it just bring it all down. Now, whether it makes a difference or not, that could be an experiment that we try out this year. I'm going to experiment on tamping soil. I'll add that to the list. Tamping soil. Sorry, writing things down while trying to talk is not easy. Digwell says the Allotment Association recommends that tenancies end in October or November so that new tenants can sort them out over winter. That I agree with. I do think that is the best way to do it. I think I took my allotment on in September and it gave me a bit of growing time to figure out what I wanted to do. But we went into the winter with a plan, and it meant I could spend all winter get the infrastructure work. I've always say winter is a good time for the infrastructure work, i.e. we get the beds built, we get the paths built, we get the sheds built, partly because the winter period there's not much going on. Excuse me. TurboStream says to Adrian, wear 2 pairs of socks, a tip from his hill walking days. And Idaho is saying, I hope it gets better soon. I've seen a few people wish that. So, yeah. Oracle is asking if Digwell misses the second allotment. Good question. Let's throw that out there. And Digwell says to Graham, impossible for me to make enough compost for my needs. I got the same problem, but that's not going to stop me from trying. I do believe if we can make as much compost as possible, it's going to save us more money. TurboStream, that's because most videos I've seen firm the soil and press the seeds in. It's very true. I see that quite often. I usually do it from a height and tamping it down. I do from time to time. It's not something I consciously think of, but I really do want to experiment and see if it does make a difference now. Thank you for that question. It really got me going. Jenny says, I have a bare root rhubarb, very small crown, top part, but lots of roots. Small, tiny red buds, eyes from under the top where the crown has been cut off. Do I plant the eye buds above or below the soil? Do I plant? Oh, right. Okay. I think I'm with you. I would usually say, I'm thinking my allotment, the eye buds are above the ground, but they've grown to be above the ground. So I would probably plant it and submerge it personally. Rhubarb is so hardy that it will grow through from my experience and it will settle down and work its way out. But we'll add that out there. Planting rhubarb, would you plant the eyes on the buds above or below the soil? Ask everyone else out there. Graham says, I've made about 1,500 litres over the last 2 years. That's good going. That's very good going. The amount of compost I need does need quite a few. So interesting. Idaho says, I brought a lot of seeds lately. I'm planning for the future. I'm putting the packets in a clean, dry canning jar, putting in a cool, dark closet. Most should keep for years. I think that is... They should keep for years. I agree. I keep, I think I've said before, I've got an old fridge down here I keep my seeds in. That way they stay at a constant temperature. And they seem to do all right in there, actually. So, yeah. The fridge is obviously turned off, but just an idea. Our rents are due at the end of April. So that's... You're jumping ahead a bit, but next week I'm going to be asking the question of how much do you pay for your allotment and what do you get for it. So that's quite funny that you're going on this conversation. So save it for next week, guys. Otherwise I'll run out for the conversation. Digwell says, I tamp the surface of mine so I can see where I have scattered the seeds. Yep. Again, I'm going to run this experiment and just see if it makes any difference. I'm sure there must be differences. Chili Cake says it was great to get to the plot in April, but we have been on the back foot all year. It was full of bindweed. Having the winter to prep would have been good. Well, you still got this winter. And I've got to say, what I've seen from your photos, you've done really good in such a short amount of time. And I know you shared a photo the other day from where you were down on the allotment on Boxing Day. And it looks fantastic. It looks like you're really cracking on with what you need to do. So great stuff. Turbo Extreme says he's going to try our method and experiment. So I think, yeah, we'll run experiments and see if it makes any difference. High-grade gas. I planted my rhubarb with eyes just below the surface. Worked well. I'm thinking just below the surface as well, just to protect it from the frosts at the moment. Rhubarb is very hardy, but when it's young, is it going to be as hardy? So we'll see. Digwell was asked earlier if he misses his second plot. And he says, not at all, mate. Moaning minis, bank falling down, path encroaching onto plot, council taking some land back for a new path, no parking and so on, LOL. So these are all things that next week as well, all these points, like the parking, etc. I want to find out with your allotment what you get for the money and things like parking. So yeah, good one there. Digwell, one of the reasons to tempt soil was because seeds prefer a firm soil to root into. Well, I'm going slightly off topic. I'm going to run this experiment this year, but my thought is that in nature, the soil might be, let's say seeds fall on the ground, they might be in contact with the soil, but they're not necessarily tamped down all the time. So would it make any difference? I want to find out. Kate says, I got a microscope for Christmas. I want to use it to monitor my soil for improvement in healthy activity from homemade compost, wormery, mycelium, and all other life forms that hopefully show a healthy soil. I've got to admit, that's way above what I know. So I'll be interested to know if a microscope will help tell all those sort of things. But I think it is a good idea. I've got a microscope somewhere. One of the things that I know I've heard people do to test, and this might be a good experiment for us all to do as a bit of a laugh as well. 2023, I think we're trying to do as a group, you know, we're all a group in this community here. Every Sunday we meet up and have a chat. And I'm setting challenges throughout this year. We want to grow the biggest method. We'll get into that in a little bit later on. But one of the things I thought that we could do, there's an experiment to see how good your soil is. And that is where you take an old piece of underwear, you bury it in the soil for a couple of weeks, and you see what is left after, I think it's about 2 weeks. And I thought that might be a good experiment for us to do about April time. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Obviously, I know it means sacrificing a pair of underwear, and I believe it needs to be natural, but we'll figure that all out later on. Amanda Joy, that is. Evening all, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Lovely to see you. Hope you are well. Stuart Jackson, another New Year's resolution is to use window sills and greenhouse more to allow me to grow more chilies and peppers. Fantastic. Can't beat good chilies and peppers. In fact, something I'm also doing as a bit of a New Year's resolution this year is I'm not using my grow lights and I'm not using my heated propagators. Reason being, I want to, again, trying to replicate this cost of living crisis. You reduce the amount of money that I'm spending on these sort of things. So I'm trying to do without and using the heat from inside my house and see if that makes a lot of difference. So yeah, that sounds like a good one too. Turbo Stream. It's interesting that in nature, any seeds that fall just lie on the surface and they seem to germinate okay. Perhaps we should try nature's method. It's going to be an experiment. This is going to be a very interesting experiment, I feel. So yeah, please do. Like I say, we're going to try and join in on a lot of these experiments this year as a group. Ian Meadows is saying he's watching on the telly. As phone all lost, dead. Don't know where, but don't know how to chat on the TV. No idea. I'll be honest, no idea. But thank you for joining us anyway, Ian. Lovely to see you. Hope you've had a good New Year. Hope you are well. And how do we look on the big TV? I'm hoping tonight, if something's gone right, the connection to the internet must work. Idaho says, our dollar store, now the $125 store, got gardening seeds out already, and they are priced at 25 cents each. They also have small plastic bell cloches, 9 inches tall and 10 inch in diameter, that have an open-close vent. That's pretty good, actually. That's going to be worth going down there for. I went into a garden centre over this last week. I've been off work all week, and went into a garden centre this week. And I noticed, in fact, I planted this up yesterday. Asparagus Boonlum for 50p. I don't think you can see that very well, but I've also got, I don't know if these are going to do well, a couple of garlics for 50p each as well. So, you know, all these things are going great with trying to save money at the moment. So very, very pleased with those. But I've also noticed our garden centres are starting to stock our seed potatoes as well. That's going to be a challenge for later on this year, but more on that next time. Oracle, true Digwell, you would never just miss. I was wondering about the grown space. Have you have been used to the plots? I think Digwell, how are you dealing with the loss of the plot in terms of food production? Jenny, another New Year's resolution is to use a garden journal I got for a present. Space to log dates, weather, harvest to dos, etc., etc. It's called Shit, What Did I Plant? Which apparently I say a lot. That sounds like a good, interesting journal. Now, members of the sports club, if you heard the podcast the other day, will know I've been talking about this very subject because it's something that's very close to my heart. And as I said, I'm trying to keep a gardening journal this year. And I actually, if I switch to the overhead camera, I have created my own gardening journal, printed off to do it. I've got my goals and targets that I want to set. I'm still writing it out. Seeds I want to grow this year and varieties so that I'm in the planning. Then growing plans, what I'm growing in what bed and so on. And then when we get round to it, these are all printable, so I can add as many and what we need. To-do lists, of course, I had to add the to-do list because I do believe in to-do lists. And then a gardening journal where I can not jot down everything that I do in the garden. I've got to fill it out for today, which I'll do a little bit later. But yeah, I'm with you on the gardening journal, trying to keep hold of that. I think we've spoke about this. A Filofax A5 is just a nice size for me to keep on at all times. Digwell says more to concentrate on the one plot and garden now, I guess. Yeah. This is Digwell's obviously gone from 2 allotments down to 1, and sometimes I think you spread yourself a bit thin when you have more space. Sometimes a smaller space is better in my findings anyway. And I've been doing this quite a bit lately. What with the balcony garden that I have just out here, the patio garden and the veg garden, the front garden that I've been doing throughout 2022, sorry. The smaller gardens, they've just helped me really concentrate down into those small spaces and actually get quite productive. And this is what we're continuing on to 2023. Still keeping the allotments, both plots on the allotments are still staying, so don't worry about that. Kate says we can call it a soil plants experiment. I'm taking that. Where's my pencil gone? I've just got my pencil. Damn, where's my, I don't know why I'm saying damn when I've got pens right here. Soil plants. I'm having that. I'm sorry, Kate. I'll give you credit for it, and you're having that. What else we got? What else? Turbo Stream. I tried a new method this time with my onions, peat-free compost in the modules, but I sowed the seeds in a thin layer of John Innes #1 on top. Yeah, I always do use seed sowing compost. It's just a little bit finer when it comes to seeds, unless it's a big, like broad beans or peas. Seed sowing compost, I find just being that little bit thinner can just sort of break through the soil a bit easier. Also add perlite and other things which help as well. I haven't added perlite to the onions this year, but we also keep an eye on that. So, Ballysim, the thing I take from nature is seeds stay dormant in the soil all winter till the time is right to germinate. No propagators or lights. That's true. That is a very good point, actually, Ballysim. Again, this is something I'm doing this year. As I want to get some more apple trees, but I want to grow them and train them to be what's the word? When they're trained very low, almost like a step over. That's the word I'm looking for. Step over. But I want to do it myself. But the cost of apple trees to do that, a little bit on the expensive side. So I'm going to try and grow some apples from seeds, but they need a period of cold. So we're going to replicate in nature with that. Turbo Stream says, I also write on the date sown on the Supporters Club packet and label. Oh yeah, I always write the whenever I sow seeds, I always write the date they were sown on the label as well. I'll keep a track of that in our supporters, in our seeds. But also, as I know, not everybody here is supporter club members, but those that are on the newsletter, you will see at the bottom of each vegetable description, I always leave a space for you to fill in what date you have sown those. My idea being that then you can keep that piece of paper, that newsletter, and keep track of when you sow those seeds too. So just a thought on that. I may not have explained that very well in the past. Digwell says there's a very good free 16-page journal type thing in the center of the 2023 DT Brown seed catalogue. Started getting the seed catalogues through our door again, haven't we? But haven't seen that. I will have to check that one out. Yeah. Now, Digwell, I've just mentioned that I use seed sowing compost. Need to keep an eye on the nutrients in seed sowing compost as they run out very quickly, which is true. Very, very true. That's why my plants are just there to germinate in seed sowing compost. Once they are germinated, we then pot them up into bigger plots where they can multi-purpose compost, where they can get that better nutrients, etc., etc. And says, talking of seeds and cold, I've pre-planted a load of veg before our 5 month or so. Big experiment. Let us know how that gets on. That sounds very, very interested. Jenny says, I used a Brown's Catalogue journal last year. It was great, but too small for my swirly handwriting. I think I've said before, this is why I've designed my own journal. Journals that I've brought in the past, they are not very future-proof. They're not very user for me anyway. So that's why I built my own journal, so I can make it to my own descriptions or my own needs to make it a little bit better. I like it personally. I'm quite happy with it. I'm adding more things as we go on. So continuing on with our New Year's resolutions, I've said, obviously mine is to keep a written journal of what I'm doing when I'm on the allotment or on the garden, trying to beat the cost of a living crisis, trying to grow as much food as I possibly can. But that's something that happens every year. We've now got trying to use up as many of my seeds as well. But I also, I want to hear more of your resolutions or your goals or your targets for 2023. And also something that I want to do 2023, or I try and grow something I've never grown before every year. And we'll see how we can get on this year. And I've had a word with Ian. I'm going to go down and see him. He's very kindly allowed me the use of his field to do this. We're going to grow shark's fin melon and see if it does get as big as it claims, and just see what happens. So for me, 2023 going to be the year of growing the shark's fin melon. It's something I've never grown before. Are you growing anything you have never grown before? Turbo Stream says, my idea was the seeds would germinate in the seed compost and grow down into the multi-purpose compost with more nutrients. It's a good idea. It's a very good idea as well. Jenny says, I won a Koya giveaway on Instagram. Koya potting medium, pots and discs. All seem great so far, but as you say, I will need to pop them on and feed them. Good. Yeah, Koya. A lot of people can be a bit negative about Koya for some good reasons in some cases, but I do think Hoyer has something. I mean, we're going peat free. It has to happen. So we've got to find something. We want to find something that will be as good as peat without using peat. TurboStream, I need to improve my crop protection methods for 2023. Good idea. Good idea. I was watching my little scarecrow in the garden earlier just flip around and move in the wind. Probably going to need a new scarecrow this year. Ernie has joined. New Year's greetings, Richard. Wishing you every success with your gardening ideas. Happy New Year to you, Ernie. Hope you are well, and I hope it's nice and warm down there. Rebecca says, yes, I want to grow a loofah, but have yet to manage this. I think that's what I meant to grow this year, but I got them growing. Or was it? No, I think I've done it a couple of years ago. I'm going to try loofah again this year as well. I'm going to join you on that, Rebecca, and see how we get this. Kate says, I'm very tempted to try bokashi this year too. As you know, I've started the bokashi. I brought some bran from Agriton, set up my bokashi bucket. Yeah, I mean, it's early days. I can't say anything at the moment, but it seems to be working. I leave it for about 2 weeks before it goes into my sub pod, where the worms will then finish it off. It seems to be working. It seems to be pretty good. Just early days. But yeah, please do give bokashi a try and let me know how you get on. Jenny says, I cannot find shark's fin melon seeds online. I found them on Etsy, but can't be sure they are proper seeds. Has anyone found any from a trusted company? I will look into that, Jenny, and let you know. Chili Kate, just going through the C box now. Boxes, Kalettes are on for trying for the first time list. Yep, Kalettes, interesting. Give it a go. Keep us informed and let us know how you get on with them. Jenny says, I'm trying Dragon's Egg cucumber this year for the first time. They look and sound amazing. Yes, I've done the lemon crystal cucumbers, the apple crystal, or whatever they may call them, cucumbers over the years. It's nice to get different types of cucumbers, isn't it? And try and get something a little bit less bland. I mean, I quite like cucumbers. I'm not saying they're bland, but they're nothing to get excited about in some ways. So adding a bit of difference, I just think makes them all the more interesting. Right. At this point, I just want to ask you, if you haven't done so, please do give us a thumbs up or a like on whatever platform that you are following us on or watching on. Don't forget to subscribe and follow, and don't forget to click the notification so that you know when we go live. Let's see. Ballycillian says, I've never grown cantaloupe melons. Giving them a go this year. Good one. I like a good melon. We're going to be growing lots of melons, hopefully, in the greenhouse down on the allotment. TurboStream, I think it's meant to be Kalettes. We're a disaster, so I hope you do better than my effort for Chili Kate. Yeah, I think that's definitely Kalettes. A lot of people have mixed feelings on Kalettes, don't they? I quite like them, but we can see what everyone else says. Right. I think this is a good point to quickly cut to a photo video. Let me rephrase that. Good time to cut to your photos. It's that time of the show where we have a good look at some of your photos. Now, good collection has been sent in to me, mostly posted on our Facebook group, but keep them coming. First of all, Stuart Jackson has discovered these bargains in a garden charity shop, and he has brought them and taken them home. Good use of some seed sowing kits. Now, Kate Harding is after Trug's wheelbarrows, and she's got two that she's found. This one is the one that I think is better, partly because this one that is on the screen now, I've actually got two of these, and I don't think they're very good in my personal experience. What do you think? Stuart's also shared the details of this amazing bargain that can be found. Check it out in our Facebook group to find out more. I can't remember the website off the top of my head, so no. Richard Golden has been sharing that CD Sunday is coming up, another event I go to quite regularly and looking forward to.
Now, Kate shared this collage of her making some feeders for the birds, quite important at this time of year. Just using lard and mealworms to keep the birds fed and warm. Now, on Boxing Day, Kate went down to the allotment and tackled quite a few jobs. What a better thing to do on Boxing Day, of course. So that is your photos. Keep sharing them, please. Post them in our Facebook group. You can send them to me via social media using DM or whatever it may be. Or you can email me, richard@theveggrawlpodcast.co.uk.
There we go, just trying to liven things up and give myself a bit of a break from talking all the time. So I'd like those little videos. I'm going to do more of those, so please do keep sharing your photos. Where were we? Turbo Stream says, we'll be trying butternut squash this year from the saved seeds. Yeah, love butternut squashes. They're a good one as well because they can store really nicely into the winter. I've got still about 8 butternut squashes to make our way through, and they just sat on the shelf in the kitchen. So yeah, butternut squash are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Melons are great, says Jenny. Never have short bright ones again. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? We're talking of melons, actually. Jenny has reminded me, we said last year when we were talking about our melons that this year we're going to have a go and see who can grow the biggest melons. So that's going to be one of the competitions, one of the challenges that we're all going to try and do this year is to try and grow the biggest melons. I mean, it's going to be difficult because obviously we're all in different areas, but you know, it's all about this community spirit. Idaho says, I bought a few journals over the years, but I found that the smallish blank notebook works for me because I like to make notes about what I learned from books on YouTube, etc. Yeah, it's whatever works for everybody, isn't it? I'm a big lover of you just keeping whatever works for you, but there's no real one answer for anybody or for everyone, I believe. But that's the same as anything. Kate enjoyed the new photo section that I changed. I thought, just thought we needed something to improve things. Going on to 2023, make this a little bit more sleeker. He says, after all the issues we had today with computers dying, etc., and not turning the microphones on. But yeah, try and make the live show a little bit sleeker, but also keep trying to engage you guys and keep this community going as well. I think this is Rebecca. I've never grown melon. Do you think I can manage it in the Midlands, or does it have to be a very hot for them? Our summers can be crap. You can definitely grow melons in the Midlands. I think what you could do with is a long growing period. So start them March, maybe February. Keep them indoors. Get them good and strong before they go out. But I think you can do it definitely say you can do it in the Midlands. Throw it out to anybody else who's in the Midlands. Have they ever grown melons? Digwell says, see spring seed salem by their alternate name, big leaf gourd. That's the shark's fin melon, if that's any use. Turbo Stream, that music reminds me of Bullseye. Older viewers will remember that show. I remember Bullseye. I used to love watching it on a Saturday. Well, I can't remember what he would say, wasn't it? Yeah. Jenny saying, thank you, Bullseye, PMSL. Nothing in this game for 2 in a bed. What always made me laugh with Bullseye, slightly off topic here, but whenever they would say, let's have a look at what you could have won, it was always a boat. It was always a boat when that's what they could have won. But whenever they would win it, it was never a boat, or very rarely, I think, but always what they could have won. Turbo Stream says, the Midland summers can be rubbish. I agree. I'm trying to remember. You remember the TV show they did a few years back on, I think it was a BBC. It's going back quite a few years, but they grew melons in it. The Great Allotment Challenge, I think it was called. and they had a garden. It was probably Oxford, so not quite the Midlands, but they grew melons there. But I think they would do better in the greenhouse if you can. But if not, somewhere sunny. Try and if you are worried, you probably want one of the fast growing ones that produce melons in the least amount of time. That would be where I am thinking. TurboStream, the speedboats were always won by a Brummie miles from the sea. Exactly. And how could two families ever share a new Dynamo suite? Absolutely. Used to love Bullseye though. But, yeah. Jenny says, I'm in the East Midlands. Everyone complimented me on my melons. They grew great in a polytunnel, would work under a long cloche or a zippy greenhouse. Yeah. I think outside, if you get the right variety, they are outside varieties and indoor varieties, don't forget, with melons. So I think if you get the outside variety and try and give it as much luck as you can, you should hopefully get melons. Obviously, 2022, with it being such a hot year, there was a good chance that you could have got melons, although sometimes they benefit from a bit of water. Well, not water, sorry, a bit of humidity as well. But yeah, a long hot summer is ideal for melons, but I think you will get away with it. I mean, after all, they do grow them quite often in up and down the country, and it's often used in competitions in the village fetes for them. But yeah, I think that's definitely something as a group, let's come together as a group now. These challenges that I've said, I'm going to set, and we're going to try and do right. So I've got an idea. Each week I'm going to set a challenge, and this is for you to do. Again, this is a bit of fun. There's no prizes or anything, but what I want to do, and I've called this Richard's Veg Growers Army Challenge of the Week. Each week I'm going to set to you a challenge to do throughout the week, and everyone can take part. And then next week, let us know how you got on. So we're obviously going to be doing other things throughout the year, which we'll talk about. But each week, a small challenge doesn't take too much time. The challenge for this week is all I want you to go and do is go out to your allotment, go out to your garden, and just take a photo of the entire shot. Some of you guys were doing this last year for me, and it turned out to be really great in December when we put all these photos together. Idaho was particularly good at this, and I thought once a month, beginning of the month, I'm taking a photo of my garden, of my allotment, and I'm going to put them together at the end of the year. So that's this week's challenge, is just to go and take a photo of your garden, a photo of your allotment, and share it with us ready for next week. But throughout the year, I also want to run some bigger challenges. Who can grow the biggest melon is one. We'll do the Soil Our Plants challenge as well. That's going to be a good one. Who can grow, I don't know, throw out some ideas of challenges that we could do as a group throughout 2023. Jenny says 2023 is predicted to be another hot one. Fantastic. It means we should get plenty of melons. Our springs can be better than summer some years, perhaps an early sowing of melons and a sheltered spot for melons. You want to be careful you don't get that late frost. You don't want to. I know I think, was it last year we had a frost in May, or was it the year before? I can't remember. But we had a frost in May. So it may be a good spring, but still err on the side of caution. Still keep an eye on the weather. All you got to do, if your frost is predicted, fleeces, cloches, etc., try and keep it safe. Jenny, I'd have to do a tidy up first. No, just go and do it. Just go and do it. Remember, this is something I want to do, and as a way of creating a memory and seeing what you started with and seeing what it develops into. So if it looks a mess in the beginning, fantastic, because it can only get better as you go throughout the year. So don't worry about tidying it up. Just go and take that photo and see what it is.
Turbo Stream says it's a challenge to remember the challenges. Well, luckily, each week is just going to be one single challenge to be done that week. That's the way I'm doing it, just as a bit of fun. So you don't have to. As Nicola says, I'm not sure I'm going to be well enough, as feel really rough with his flu kidney infection, unlikely to be going out. Obviously, Nicola, if you're not up to it, that's fine. This is just there'll be more challenges, as I say, on a weekly challenge. I just want to try and get everyone involved a bit more. Does that make sense? But if you are unwell or you can't do it, you might be on holiday as well, don't forget. Just a little bit of fun. Digwell says, I'd have to dig to bury my passion killers. What's that about? Passion killers? Oracle says, the army has been asking about the Q&A with Stuart Jackson. What about a challenge to get him on? As I said before, last time we tried it, in fact, I don't know, if you're still watching, let me add the link. We can see. Oh, hang on. What's happened there? Oh, hang on. Something weird has happened. Here we go. Luckily, the computer didn't die. It just came up with a weird screen. I've added the link if anybody wants to zap in. But Stuart Jackson, we've got a decent signal tonight. As long as the computer holds out, be good to see if it does work better than last time. Jenny says, permission to be messy for a photo or two. I'll take full advantage. Of course, trust me. My garden is a bit messy. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I want to see that because it's going to be good to see the changes throughout the year as it gets better and better. But also, I feel if you're like a lot of gardening magazines, gardening media, and they portray this perfect garden. And we all know gardening is not necessarily like that. Gardening can be untidy, can be messy. People want to see that to realize that it's not as stressful as what they think it is. Does that make sense? I would continue to take photos as I did in previous year. It's a good thing to look back on in the future. Exactly right there, Turbo Stream. It is good to see what happens. First thing I did when I got my allotment was I took a video and photos. And whenever I feel like I haven't really got anywhere, I go back to those photos and videos and just see what it looked like when I started to what it looks like now. Digwell says, passion killers equals big pants. Fantastic. Yeah. The Suwa plants is going to be a good one, I think. I love that name. I will send you a picture for January the 1st, 2023. It's messy. Fantastic. I've taken, as I said, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm going to be getting photos up of my allotment and my garden that I took today. You will see it's a mess. It's absolutely, but it's going to improve throughout the year. And then come the end of the year, they're all going to be spliced together and we'll see the changes as we go on throughout 2023. So a lot of fun going on there. But other challenges, anybody got these ideas or things that we can sort of have our own online village fete, our own vegetable garden show online with us? So largest melons, which obviously it's going to be difficult to police it, but I trust you all so we can do that with ourselves. I think largest melons. We could do the largest tomatoes. Could that work? Yeah, let's do a largest tomato. That sounds like a bit of fun. Digwell, good one. Longest runner bean. That's a good one. That's a good one to add in there. What about the best look? A bit difficult, that one. I was thinking the best looking new potatoes. You choose 5 potatoes, put them on a plate, take a photo and send them in, and then we'll see what happens. But we all pick our potatoes at different times, so it's going to be tricky. What do you think on the potato one? I'll throw that out there.
Rebecca says the smallest veg. That's not a bad idea, actually. Smallest veg and the ugliest veg. Ugliest veg. Yeah, I've got to do the ugliest veg as well. That sounds like a lot of fun. Chili Phil, wonkiest carrot. Yeah, wonkiest carrot. I like this. I like the thinking outside the box that is going on here. Because normally in these competitions, we don't see that sort of thing. It's normally the best looking. So I like this thinking out the box. Good at the smallest squash. Smallest squash. Shall we throw that in there? Smallest squash. Is that going to be pumpkin or the smallest pumpkin? We'll throw that. We'll do that. Smallest pumpkin. Yes. Yes. Rudest vegetable. I like that as well. That's a good one. Rudest vegetable. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Okay, what about someone picks vegetable and Digwell comes up with a meal? Big man always come up good. That's a good one. What do you think of that, Digwell? Somebody picks vegetables and you come up with a meal. Digwell says potatoes, bit awkward. Yeah, I was thinking the same sort of thing. Chili Phil, hottest chili. I like the idea, don't get me wrong, but how can we judge what is the hottest chili when we're all online? Just checking. That's going to be a tricky one to do. Biggest failure. Biggest failure. I like that. I like these challenges. Biggest failure. Biggest failure. I tell you what we can do, Chili Phil, actually. For the hottest chili, what we'll do is everybody who enters this eats what they think is their hottest chili and videos them eating it to see the reaction. And the person with the worst reaction, provided they don't go in hospital, of course, but the one that has got the most amazing reaction to eating a chili on the videos would work. Chili reaction, we'll call that. I like these ideas. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see what else. My butternut squash was just 6-inch long. I just had one in total. Yeah, I think everyone goes for the largest pumpkin. So I think if we can do the smallest pumpkin, that's going to be a bit of fun. Yeah. Last year I participated in the biggest Peter Pepper contest. What's the biggest What's the biggest Peter Pepper challenge? Let us know. Best flower. I'll throw that in there because you have suggested it. This is obviously, we tend to lean to the veg grown side, but I'll throw that in there just to balance things out. Call it the alternative village vegetable show. Yes, that's what we're going to do it. I filled up my bit of paper. Alternative village vegetables show. I like this. Vegetable show. Sometimes I swear I need to get Amanda to watch this to take notes. Yeah, the alternative. Yes, definitely. I have a very high tolerance, so not sure the video would work, says Chili Phil. I have a very high tolerance as well, so I'm with you. But I think for comedy value, the biggest reaction to a chili is what we want to see. Or we could send them to Chili, and what Chili said, we'll send you chili to Richard and we can watch you try them. You may need a glass of milk at the ready. Yeah, we could do that. You send them to me, and perhaps Chili Phil joins me in the studio and we try these chilies together. That could be a way around it as well, and we judge our reaction. I did a chili competition a few years ago with Skinny Jean Gardner at his show. What was it? Not a show. It was a show. Oh, I can't remember what it was called now. But I won the competition. I got a spade, which is
on display somewhere for eating the chilies and the chili sauce and everything. Don't know if he's still watching and remembers that, but it was a lot of fun. Rebecca says, if we have best bake, shall we just give the award to Digwell now? Yeah. I agree with that. We've read that one. Peter Pepper looks like a part of the Peter Pepper. Well, competition. Yeah, we'll throw that in there. Did Peter peck a peck of pickled pepper? Trying to trip me up now, Digwell, aren't you? Best veg display box. That sounds like a lot of fun. Best veg display box. I guess if we're going to do this, we need to set a date. We need to set a date for this. And I'm thinking probably September, October time. Need flower to bring pollinators to the veg garden. Good point. Stuart Jackson. Lots of flowers that we can eat. Yeah, we could. Yeah. Turbo Stream, I will pass on chili tasting. Yeah, I love my chilies. But I think if we can pull off a chili, if everyone sends a chili to us here, we might be able to do something. Digwell says, cheers, Rebecca, for the bake. Yeah, if it was Bake Off, we've all wins hands down. How about a veg fruit rainbow platter? Different colours, tomatoes, carrots, radishes, squashes, as many different colours and varieties as possible. Best veg display box kind of encompassed that. So, but yeah, that sort of thing. Definitely. And the tallest sunflower. Good ideas, actually. We've got quite a few of this sort of alternative village vegetable show, as we're calling it. Something that we can do a bit fun. What do you think? When should we hold this? September, October time? Gives everyone. And what I'll do, I'll write a piece up, and we'll set the dates up, and I'll write all the categories down so that everybody has an idea of what's what. If you want to participate in it, we'll try and sort some prizes out for this as well. This sounds like a lot of fun. I don't grow many veg that need help with pollination. Yeah, I mean, well, if we do the best flower and you don't grow flowers, you don't take part in that challenge. It's same as any village show. So yeah, the alternative village show, a lovely autumn fair. Well, I think it's really looking at everything. Autumn is probably going to be the best time for all of these. But don't forget, you can take your photos right throughout the year because it's all about the photos that you've taken. I want to see, if you do take a photo, I want to see you on the camera with it so we know it's actually you. I know some people don't like being on camera. I understand that. So I don't want trying to come up with some sort of rules, but we'll figure this out. But we got the categories, we got the competition, we got the ideas. I love it. The ugliest veg is a great one. Lovely autumn fair, definitely. I think that's quite a bit to get us through this year. Quite a few ideas that hopefully is going to give everyone some ideas. What I will do, I'll write all these down on a screenshot sort of thing, so that I know not everyone probably has a pen and paper to write all these categories down tonight, and then we'll figure that out. Turbo Stream says it should be around Harvest Festival time. That's what I'm thinking, sort of September, October time. Oracle says, I think the come dine with me would be the best. Someone picks the food from an allotment, then every week someone cooks. So Richard picks first, Digwell cooks, then Digwell picks, someone else cooks. I like that idea. That's a good idea. A bit difficult to do online, of course, but a good idea indeed. Margaret, like the country shows, we can make up an entry form so that peeps can only enter the categories they would like to enter. Yeah. that's definitely what we're going to be trying to do. Digwell says, the problem I had with running the lockdown virtual shows was proof of ownership. This is why I'm saying that if we take a photo, it's because it's photo or video really to enter these really. We want to see the person. If they don't want to be, if they don't want that, if they don't want to appear on the live show, take a photo of the veg and then take a photo of you with the veg, send it to me, and I would just use the veg one. That way, at least I've got some sort of judgment on that. Best shed. Oh, yes. Best shed. Best shed. Best alternative shed as well. I know somebody's got an alternative shed. And the best thing made for the allotment. Best thing made for the allotment. Made allotment. Good ideas. Good ideas. The Peter Pepper contest I participated was run by Garden State Gardener. Rules and videos can be seen at right. Fantastic. We'll check that out. Digwell says, but I'm sure we can. This is where I'm worried about trying to police it too much because I trust everyone here. I do trust everyone here, but we've got to have some sort of something in there. You know. Jenny says best structure recycled homemade plot make for the plot. Yeah, that definitely can go on there. Or Stuart Jackson says best garden craft. Definitely ideas. If anybody comes up with any more ideas during the week, then email me, richard@veggrowpodcast.co.uk, and I will add them to this list. I'm going to try and work this out and get this organised. Margaret also says the muddiest boots. I like that, but I'm writing it down, but I'm also thinking, how do we know that came from the allotment or garden? As somebody that goes and walks in the with a dog quite often in the mud, my boots get very muddy when I'm out walking a dog, not necessarily on the allotment and garden. But I like that. Best kept wheelbarrow, or most bashed. I would like most bashed wheelbarrow because I'm going to do that. Most bashed wheelbarrow because it's all about the alternative garden show. Oracle says the amount of meals you could get out of your allotment would be brilliant, and we all get ideas. I think that's something we can definitely do, incorporate into the live show as a natural thing anyway, and as well as a podcast and things like that. All good ideas. Good ideas. What have we got? Agree, Digwell. It's just for fun, just for our fun community. Yeah. Digwell says the best bindweed. Good idea. Yeah, best bindweed. Best bindweed. Best bindweed. And so on. Nicholas says, if people cheat, but I don't think we will. I don't think we will either. The person losing out is that person, as it is just for fun. At the moment, it's just for fun, but I might have a word with a few people and see if we can sort some sort of prizes out for people that would get that. Digwell says Nigel will win the muddiest boots, of course, because he is muddy boots. Margaret Peacock, I'm happy to prepare the entry form and post if you like. That would be great, Margaret. That would be fantastic. I'll email you all the ones that I've taken note of, and we'll go from there. Jenny says, I could definitely enter for the best garden bruises. Best garden bruise. Ooh, I want to put best garden bruises down, but then I worry that might be sending out the wrong message. I could be wrong on that. This is fun. Don't forget to give us a like and follow and subscribe and all that sort of thing on whatever platform you are following. Helps boost the community, etc. I know I've already asked it, but I'm asking again. Yes, Nicola, I'm not into beating everybody, just participating for fun. I think it is going to be just for fun. Yeah, exactly. Only cheating ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. If we take prizes out of the equation, it doesn't have any point in cheating. So yeah. I will. The most crops go into seed section. Most crops go into seed section. Yeah, that could be an interesting one. Yeah, I'll think about that one. Ian says, this is Ian we were talking about the shark's fin melon. And yes, he's checked out the shark's fin melon and all okay with me. Fantastic. I will email you. I keep meaning to email you and we'll sort it out. Hope you are well, Ian, and Happy New Year to you too. Mr. Potato Man, that could be a good one. Mr. Potato Man. That could be a lot of fun. Digwell says, my single seed potato challenge will be starting in a few weeks. Digwell, enlighten us. What is your single seed potato challenge? Let us know in the comments, and I will we'll participate. This is obviously on Digwell's YouTube channel as well. We are all grown-ups here. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, there are some legal ramifications that we have to have some sort of rule, terms and conditions as a broadcaster. I could probably get away with it, but anybody who knows me, I do things by the book. So, yeah, we're all grown-ups. We're not going to cheat. I'm going to put that down as faith. Yeah. Keep it for fun. This is a fun show with a great... yeah. Okay. Excellent. Okay. We won't cheat. We enjoy our garden community too much. If you're all happy with that, then that we're not going to put any rules in place to stop cheating. If you're all happy to take part in that, then fine. The only rule is going to be judge's decision is final, and that's going to be a bit different. Idaho, if you start a contest, you could require entry video. Like, I'm entering the largest tomato contest. Here is my seed packet. Here are the seed subside. In the next video, here I am transplanting. That's a good idea. That could be a way forward, but would that pop people off because it's an extra thing in the line? We should throw that. Yeah. Grow the max yield from one seed spud that I send to participants. Digwell, count me in. So you will send out one seed spud, and we have to grow that and see who produces the most potatoes. Good idea. Fabulous show tonight. 2023 will be a great year for this group. I hope so. I really hope so. I think the ideas that we've got is going to be fun. I've just realised that the overlay came off on its own. I don't know why. I put it back up. We've only got 10 minutes left. Oracle says, we have all been together 2+ years, so we all know from the shows that we tell the truth through comments, etc. So cheating would easily be spotted. Yeah, but you are quite right. We might have more people come along as well, don't forget. So who knows? But this is all going to be a bit of fun for us all to join in and see what happens. What's Digwell's channel called? It is called Digwell Green Fingers, as his name suggests. Jenny says, I'll be up for your single seed potato challenge, Digwell. I know a channel to watch for ideas, tips and advice, etc. Absolutely. There you go, Digwell. You got 2 people taking part. Kate says, I'm excited for these challenges. Absolutely. I am too. One thing I love about doing this with you guys is you come up with some of the best ideas that I never think of. And I just love the randomness, the alternative side of this. It's just makes it so much more fun. I think the chili reaction is going to be the tricky one. I don't know. I don't quite know how we're going to do it, but we'll come up with something. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun. The winner last year returned 27.5 kilograms. Excellent. And Digwell, Margaret says she'll do the potato seed challenge as well. So you've got 3 people. I hope you've got enough potato seeds for this, Digwell. Because I end up adding more and more people to this, don't we? Yeah. No, this is good. I like these challenges. I think this is our alternative village vegetable show is going to be a lot of fun. How does everyone feel about it being sort of, let's say October? Is everyone okay with that for the chance of this show, or would you like it earlier or later? Ian says, "How about the funniest cheat? Maybe leaving the price label on, etc." Funniest cheat. I'm gonna throw that into that because that is a good one. The funniest cheat. Yeah, yeah. Stuart Jackson, this sounds like a great plan. I will take a great pride in coming last in every area. No, I'm going to come last in every area. I do I participate? Yeah, it's for fun. I'm going to participate as well. Turbo Stream, just keep it simple. No prizes and done and trust. I don't really want to make my allotment into a competitive space. Just grow as best as you can with shadows. You know what, Turbo Stream? That just sums it up. You know, you are right. Thank you. Digwell, the advert video will be up in a few weeks and the rules a few weeks later. I have a seed supplier sponsor. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, count me in, Digwell. Count a couple others, but we will follow your channel and keep an eye on it. Good for October here. Fantastic. Stuart Jackson said, October sounds good. What seed potatoes do you use? Digwell says, can't say to stop cheating, so we don't know what the actual potato is. Nicholas says, we could do the biggest strawberry. Biggest strawberry. Yeah, let's throw that in here. Biggest strawberry. Margaret, have you been taking notes of all these, or do you need my notes? I'll send them over anyway. I think some may need to be earlier if it includes some fruits like strawberries. Not really, because we're only taking a photo of them and sending the photo in, or keeping hold of it until October. Yeah, right. So what we'll do, we're going to rely on the chili one is maybe the slightly different one, but all these subjects, we want you to take a photo, so you can take a photo right throughout the year of your, let's say, your biggest tomato, your largest melon, the smallest vegetable, and you take your photo will keep for goodness knows how long, and then come competition time, you send us that photo so that we can then pull it together and judge from it. So that's how we can do it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Turbo Swim says it's a good incentive for us to improve our growing skills, Lo. Yeah, I mean, the ugliest veg is going to be a good one for that. Longest cucumber. Yeah, we'll throw that in there. Or are we doing too many? I'll throw it on the list and we will debate this. I will send Margaret the notes so that she we'll have a debate with her as well. Heaviest marrow. I'm going to throw that in there. Heaviest marrow. Perhaps, you know, the soy plants. Perhaps we should do this for this show as well. We'll throw that for that one. Kate says, how about the best looking compost? I like that one. Best looking compost. Best looking compost. Only trouble with the soil plants is that we're then going to see everybody's underwear. So, or what's left of it at the end of the day is the idea. We'll figure the details out on that. I need your notes. Said Stuart Jackson's looking to cheat. Of course, he's not looking to cheat at all. Count me in, of course. Local competition here is pounds of bindweed gathered and turned in on a specific day. I haven't participated yet, but they gather pounds of it. Also pounds per puncture vine. That's a good idea. Good idea. I will need your notes as well, Richard. We're gonna make an infographic up of all these so that we can figure it all out. We'll get the entry cards out as soon so people can prepare to show all in October. Yeah, good idea.
I'll chat with Richard off of this chat to see about promoting a challenge here. Yeah, that's great. I've got no problem with it. Yeah. Nicholas says photos on scales for weight, of course. Yeah. How about the biggest shark's fin melon plant? Only joking. I don't think anybody else is going to be growing that except for us. Are we just picking the categories we want to enter, says Rebecca? Yes, you can pick as many or as few as you want to enter. It's all. I just want to get people participating and taking part. So if you're not growing melons, for example, you don't have to enter that competition. But as always, the more people that enter, the better it is my understanding. We've got about 2 minutes to go for the end of this show, so I'm going to start wrapping up. This has been really, really good. We will get this alternative village vegetable show underway. It'll be online. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thankfully, the computer seems to have fixed itself once we got going. I'm going to give my brother a call after we finish and see what he thinks was going wrong. So, as I said earlier, the challenge for this week, I want you to go out into your garden, your allotments, and just take a photo of your garden, your allotment at the beginning of the year, just so we can see how it looks at the beginning of the year. If you can send it in to me, that would be great. You don't have to, though, but this is just going to be the first weekly challenge. I'm going to be setting each week a little challenge or a little task for us to do as a community on top of these. Oh, Jenny has just said, how about one for herbs? Herb challenge. I will come up with that as well. That sounds like a good option. Next week, I want to talk about allotments. Now, I know not everybody has an allotment, but this might be an interesting way to find out more. So, as I said, I want to find out how much you pay for your allotment and what you get for the money. So, you might have parking, you might have water, you might not be allowed sheds, you might be allowed sheds, you might get delivery of compost and manure. All these sort of things I want to find out from you next week and what goes on in your allotment. Right, let's see. Rebecca says, I'm looking forward, I think this is Rebecca, sorry, looking forward to the growing year ahead because of this wonderful gardening community. Absolutely, I'm really looking forward to it. Really do like this alternative village vegetable show. The most overgrown mint, that could be a good one. The UK has been overrun by shark's fin melon fines. That could end up happening, couldn't it? Overgrown mint. Let's make a note of that. Yeah. So, what else have we got? Right. Yeah, I think it is 7:30. It is time to go. My throat is actually quite sore now, so I think we are going to call this a show. This has been a really good show. Thank you so much for everyone for joining me. I'm sorry about the complications we had at the beginning, but this is the joys of being a live show, of course. We will. I'll get the computer fixed this week and make sure there is no problems. But we will be back again next time, next Sunday at 6 p.m. GMT, where we will be doing it all over again, and we will get the alternative village vegetable show figured out and everything worked out. So that's something to look forward to this year. Right, let me just set myself up. There we go. Right, you take care, guys. Podcast out this week. There should be a couple of videos coming out as well as shorts or reels or whatever you may call them on whatever platform. And hopefully quite a few photos coming out on the Insta too this week. You take care, guys. I'll see you again next Sunday.